What is going on, Colts Nation? Here's Jamal. I am Eric, your co-host of the Colts Cast. Jamal,
Oh,
it's time to have a real conversation. It's
mm,
time. I'm tired of it.
mm.
You know what we about to talk about. It keeps
Short,
coming up
sweet,
in
and
the
to the point.
comments. Short, sweet, to the point. It's on social media. Yeah, I'd be out at bars or breweries, and they'd be asking me while I'm having a drink, man. Do you start Joe Flacco moving forward, or do you start Anthony Richardson? Are you taking the guy off the field who has been playing well and winning a few games versus letting your number 4 overall pick and potential franchise quarterback start? Let's get right into it, Jamal. No bullshit today. Tell it to everyone straight. Who are you taking and why?
Mm. So I think the clear cut answer, and the answer that we all know, we don't draft a quarterback at number 4 to have him just sit here and not play the game at all. Again, we have been a mediocre team for years now, and mediocrity has to end at some point. Um, so I think that the clear cut answer is you have to start Anthony Richardson. But I think the other portion that goes with that is a matter of when do we know when reality sets in? Because like Shane Steichen just said here, I believe it was yesterday in a meeting that he wants to play him at 100% only because it's a long season, it's only week 6, et cetera, et cetera. Well, again, we talked about this before. You're never 100%. So what
Yeah.
like it's hard to read the room to see because that makes it sound like the organization wants him to be out there, just like the fans want him to be out there and starting. But then they're also like, well, we have 11 weeks left. Let's tone it back a little bit. We don't want to push him to the brink because he's getting hit every single play. So
Mm.
I can't really read the room to figure out what they want. But as an avid fan and as someone who vouched for him to be that number 4 pick, and with Ballard saying he would have picked him even at number 1, I would think
Yeah.
that the important is the development for him. So I want to see
Yeah.
him out there playing.
And Steichen, it seems like it was Steichen's decision to sit him ultimately. I think it sounded like to me Anthony Richardson wanted to play, and if it was up to him, he would have played, right? Can
Yeah.
we all agree there? So it was Steichen's decision. So not, I saw some crazy people. I forget his name. Dan Durkich, whatever his name, popping off, bro.
Like
Just
2 minute video. Yeah.
calling Anthony Richardson a child. Like we're not doing that. Look, some of y'all been pissing me off for the past couple of weeks, and by y'all know who I'm talking about.
Uh,
It's the fans who want to stay mediocre. So it's not most of Colts Nation. We want to rise higher. We want to be better than everyone else. Look, but it's the same fans, Jamal, who
mm,
clamored to Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay to take a quarterback in the first round. It's the same fans who wanted to end this quarterback carousel, and now those same fans have turned their back and they want to start an almost 40-year-old quarterback that's pushing retirement because he came in and he did his job as a backup by filling in for our starter, who Steichen already said this is Richardson's team, right? He
mhm.
already came out and said that, right? And that backup helped us secure a victory against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tennessee Titans. We also lost against the winless Jacksonville Jaguars. So just to put that in perspective. Y'all want to be mediocre so bad. I don't understand it, Jamal. You're gonna have to explain that to me because what what have we forgotten about the past 3-4 years? I mean, please tell me where Gardner Minshew got us last season.
Just over 500.
Yeah, stop me when I'm wrong. Just tap the mic or something. I just want to get my frustrations out. Stop me when I'm wrong.
Go
We
ahead.
missed the playoffs. We got the 15th overall pick. Mediocre. How about Carson Wentz? Missed the playoffs. Lost draft picks. Phillip Rivers. Great guy. Yo, wild card. What happened in the first round?
Else.
Else. You watched that game,
Else.
right?
Yeah.
Look. First round bounce against the Bills. 21st overall pick. Why do y'all want to why do y'all want to repeat history?
Mm. Mm.
Jamal, can you answer?
I think that a lot of people don't feel confident that the Colts are gonna, because I think what people kind of get mixed up right now is people they want to be in contention, not for a Super Bowl, obviously, because that's not happening. Even with Richardson in the team in the game right now, he's not in contention for a Super Bowl. This Colts team is nowhere near what it needs to be like that. But do they think they want to be above 500 team that possibly has a chance to get to the first round of the playoffs? Yes, I think people are kind of tired of not seeing the playoffs just because it's been such a drought in this for this fan base, for this team. What, 2 playoff appearances over the past 8 years, I think. So people just kinda they want some sense of hope.
Mm,
I think that when they see Flacco in there, who's able to just help the team to get to the finish line, they think maybe
yeah.
scratch the surface. Now, does that mean that you win a playoff game? Absolutely not. But people like the thought of being in the playoffs. That's just a realistic thing. And I
Mm,
don't people feel like at this point Richardson is going to be able to get the team to the playoffs, not win the dance, but get to the dance.
mm. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Because I was gonna say, I mean, Joe Flacco got bounced last year in the playoffs with the
Hmm.
Browns. Um, they didn't go anywhere, and they actually didn't want to resign him. Well, they had no choice. They
Yeah,
got a
they got
fully
other
guaranteed
problems.
contract to Sean Watson. I'm telling you all right now, you do not want to ride this line of mediocrity. It gets us nowhere. I was just talking about the draft picks. We actually lost some draft picks trying to trade for mediocrity. It's like what value do we gain out of I guess you've already answered that question, Jamal, but it seems like false hope.
Hmm.
I already said Richardson's ceiling is higher than Flacco's. Now, albeit his floor is lower. It
Hmm.
absolutely is. But we can't get a full evaluation on him until he plays. So I'm just telling you right now, Flacco's not going in there in the first round. He ain't outdueling CJ Stroud. He ain't outdueling Patrick Mahomes. He ain't outdueling Lamar Jackson come January. I'm just telling y'all this right now so you don't get your hopes up if we do sniff the playoffs. I I mean, am I wrong?
No, I agree with that. I think that most people will venture to say that they don't think that Richardson is going to, not most people, but those people, excuse me, those people are going to venture to say that they don't think that Richardson's going to give them a chance either. And then my personal opinion is this: I think with it, whichever one is in there, it's going to go back to the defense not holding up their end of the bargain. So that's what's going to be our demise at the end of the day for me, because we play to our competition. It's very clear that the Colts play to their competition. So I think that no matter which quarterback is in there, they're going to be in a sticky situation based on what defense shows up to play that day, in my
But
in my opinion.
okay, that's true. But what is the top priority of this season for the Indianapolis Colts?
I would think that the top priority is development, but at the
Right.
same token, if we're not willing to put him on the field, if he's 100%, then we're shortchanging him too. Just as much as
Exactly.
we're shortchanging him from not being on the field, we're holding him back. Is the same thing that people argue that say they'd rather see Joe Flacco in, because it's hard to weigh the checks and balances of it, because the coaching staff, whether or not they trust him or they just trust his injury, whatever the case is, they're not willing to let him be in there to play if he wants to play. So it's like I kind of I like I can't get too mad at people who want to see Flacco in there, because the staff isn't willing to let Richardson play either. So it's like, how do you if they were both 100% healthy and the staff was and people were saying that, then I'll be like, no, you're losing your mind. But like
Man, that man
they
looked
won't even let him play.
that man looked healthy in practice.
But
I
they
mean,
won't let him play though.
full participant. He was full participant last week, but I mean, I saw some
Uh,
things. I
yeah.
look. If you wanted to sit him his first year, you should have done it. We've already cracked open that box, that
Oh yeah.
Pandora's box. It
Oh
is
yeah.
wide open. Fact of the matter is, we didn't. Shane Steichen wanted him as QB1. He made that decision. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the right answer until it isn't. He's already said that's Richardson's team. That man needs to be playing. If he ain't out there against Miami in Lucas Oil Stadium, dog, like, come on, man. Like, we're not doing that. What is the value in going 9-8 again and either barely missing the playoffs or barely making it and just getting bounced?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't see any value in that at all. And that's why I think that like the coaching staff at some points need to be legitimately like expressing why, and not just saying that he's not at 100%, because again, if they're holding him back, then that's a different conversation for a different day. But if it's just a matter of like the coaching staff feels that Flacco's better, because that's a big difference. Injury versus feeling better, those are two different things. So, and I don't think for a second the coaching staff feels that Flacco's better. So I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just weird. The whole entire situation is weird. It's a conversation we shouldn't be having to have, but I think there are a lot of things in place that are making it hard to give a reasonable side on either side. Besides the fact that people want to see Richardson with reps, and then people want to see Flacco be mediocre or see the Colts be mediocre. That's just the reality of it.
That's some people's realities, but I don't want that to be my reality, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, unless you believe Joe Flacco is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, with all the deficiencies on our team, Jamal, you already talked about the defense. You cannot look at me with a straight face and say he's going to win us some playoff games out of his prime. I'll tell you that right. Like, this team ain't ready. Like,
No, this team
Richardson
ain't
needs
ready.
to play, which means he needs to start because at this point, every bit of game experience is going to help him out tremendously.
Mhm,
You know, and it's going to help the coaching staff, even the fans just figure out, you know, is this really our guy? Is this our
mhm,
guy, or like, are we really watching Archie Manning playing? Like, like
mhm.
what is it going to be, man? Like I'm just trying to be real, no sugarcoat. Like, you know, he was pegged as a project QB. It means you have to have patience with him. You like, this man ain't gonna come out and be the next great person, next great quarterback in 5 games. It's just not gonna happen. So you have to be patient and see if this guy's actually gonna pan out for your franchise. Can he succeed in the NFL? Is he injury prone? I just don't think these questions can be answered when he's sitting on the bench watching an iPad.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, and of course, I know last year's injury, the season-ending injury, was like a freak accident. That's something that you can't really help that that AC sprain that he had. But then I think that the people's other rebuttal back to that is just when you say that he can't sit on the bench, like he's not there. He's not sitting on the bench due to like foul play. He's sitting on the bench due to injury over injury over injury. So it's like I think that's where you kind of like he the coaching staff isn't just putting him on there because he's thrown 16 ducks in a row. You know what I mean? He's on the bench because he's legit injured. So I think that's where it's
Injured.
like, what look, that's what the staff is telling us. That's what they're
Injured.
telling us. Hey, I'm just telling you what the staff is saying. If they could be honest and just say, hey, we feel more comfortable, then like, I think that will clear the air with a lot of people. I think people will just simmer down a lot. But when we're hearing one thing versus another, I think it's hard to say because I agree. Like you said, he needs to be out there. He needs to get the reps. We need to see if he is that guy. We need to see if he is not that guy. But I think that as long as they're going to use the excuse of he has injury, so we're not going to play him, it's going to be almost impossible to tell. And a negative connotation will continue to grow on him of an injury prone person when every week they're like
Yeah.
injury, 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 injury.
He They call him a glass cannon now. Like,
Yeah.
I see what
Yeah. It's
people say
disrespectful.
about him. Yeah. So he's got to get out there, and
Yeah.
he's got to show us, is he really made of glass or is he made of steel? But
Yeah.
I don't. He doesn't need to be benched. I know you said it's for injury, but I don't want him turning into the next Bryce Young. So
Agreed. Agreed.
man, that plain and simple. AR should start.
Yeah. He should be out there.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
That's going to be it then.
That's gonna be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts, and we'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Take care.
Take it easy.